Hey Hebrew fans, this is Todd. So let's go ahead and get started. We had some debate about this particular comic that came with Lady Slither and whether King Hiss really got his head chopped off or not. So let's go ahead and go through this and talk about what potentially happened and what we see in the comic. So first of all, I'll do the setup, and that is that King Hiss is with all of his guys, and they are debating who gets to release Lady Slither from her dimension she's at or whatever. And whoever gets to release her from her dimension, they get to marry her, which seems kind of odd. It's kind of like the old Skeletor story, always chasing after Tila. But okay, whatever. So kind of a little bit of a crazy storyline. And so we get to this part right here where you see, alas, the snake men are too late. They're all trapped in their cage. And then he says, basically, open the worlds and let the new age rise. Step forth, Lady Slither. Now, remember, he's thinking in his mind he's going to marry her and get the cool sword at the same time. So that is what he's thinking and what's going on. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide. And there she is. Oh, beautiful, awesome, amazing. He's hit the jackpot, right? Now, let's continue on. And so it says here, arise that you may receive your precious prize, King Hiss. And of course, his prize is her as a bride and the cool serpent saber sword or whatever they call it in this comic. So then we go to the next slide. And sure enough, behold the sword of the serpent slice, and she slices his head. And so with my eyes are not always the best, and so I have to kind of zoom in on this a little bit to see if I can figure out what's going on. And you can see right here, you see kind of his snake head kind of slithering off, but right here you really can't tell if it's still connected. But there you can tell it looks like it's still connected, slithering out of the top of the hole. So obviously the snake couldn't leave on its own. The whole body would fall over and just have to hide until she walks away, like, playing possum or something. So I was wrong. I thought his head got chopped off. I thought this was a break in the neck between the two right here, but obviously it's not a break in the neck. It's just going up over that collar there. They could have rounded this a little bit more so you could tell, but this is so flat here. It looks like it might have chopped off part of it. I mean, it's just the way it looks. I don't know. Anyway, what's funny is then his head goes and starts bouncing. And first his mouth is open. Like, ah! And then his mouth is closed as he goes to continue bonking his head along. Which is kind of funny because his head should be like a puppet head. Being the snake inside controls the head. Is the head a living mask? Is it a magical mask? What's the deal? I mean, obviously it'd have to look realistic enough to fake humans that its eyes and move and facial movements and everything else, look legit. As opposed to just being like a giant sock puppet on a snake head. So I wonder, is this like animatronics? Is it magic? What is it? What is his face made of that gives it the expressions? Because obviously once it's chopped off, it keeps going. Juan Soto's saying it's magic. Mike Fee, no sword for him. Anyway, so I thought that's kind of funny why it's bouncing. So now let's look at what's the reason. What's the reason, right? What is she thinking? Let's go back here and take a look. And we see here that he releases her from her place wherever she's at, right? She comes in, boo, beautiful, glory, light, everything else around her. Why would she be so aggressive right off the bat, right? Right? Why would she just go and chop his head right off the bat without any questions first or talking or discussion or any battle fight or anything? Just chop his head right off, which this is a good story to remind you, don't get mail order brides, because this is what you might get. They show up, pa-ching, you have no idea who you're marrying, they look great, they look beautiful, and all of a sudden, whappo, they try to chop off your head. Well, let's see her reasoning, because in the next slide they're going to give her reason of why she does it. And it just rubs me the wrong way. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, that's right. We're going to show the close-ups of the head being chopped. So you can see the snake escaped. Bouncing head, that's right. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here it is. Here's her reason. You dare summon me from my hand in wedlock? I need no king. I am queen, empress of the snake men. Now, she is the only snake female in the whole entire thing. She is like the Smurfette of snakes. So there is no other females, right? Did she really have to kill him? Did she really have to chop his head off? I mean, now I know it's to show she's strong and cool and everything else, but you know what? This brings you right back to those Captain Marvel movies where she has to put somebody down to show how strong she is. She could have just thumped him in the head. She could have just knocked him over. She could have just said, I'm not marrying you, you jerk. And what's funny is, I know this sounds crazy, and I probably should get off my soapbox now before everyone goes, I'm out of here, man, you're going too crazy, is I have a slight fear of attractive women because of this kind of thing. And it's funny because, here she comes in all her glory. She looks beautiful. He's hoping to, win her heart and marry her, and she chops his head right off with no discussion, no talking about it. She doesn't even know he's going to marry her. She's just assuming. I mean, we know he is because he told us, but there's no way she would know. I mean, she just showed up on the scene, So at work one time, I bumped into this lady. I was walking to the bathroom, and the shelves were kind of high, so I couldn't see her. I went on the corner too quick. Bam! I knocked her right down on the ground on her butt. All her papers and books flew out of her hands, and my first impulse was to grab her stuff and help her up. But my second impulse was, oh man, I could get in trouble for helping her because she's attractive and she can go to, we call them EEO, equal rights, whatever it is. And I was actually afraid to help her up because she was attractive. Now, she was heavyset or older or unattractive, I would have helped her immediately without any question at all. And it's just messed up that we have to think this way, that, hey, I'm afraid to help somebody because of how they might react or how they might take it, which is so crazy. I can't even be, that's like one time I was at work, and I know I'm going way too far into this, and I remember offering, we were going up these set of stairs, me and this other lady, and she was older, probably old enough to be my aunt, not quite my mom, but at least my mom's younger sister. And we're going up the stairs, and the stairs was super narrow, only wide enough for one person. And so I point my hands up to the stairs so she can go first, and you go to walk up the stairs, and she holds the clipboard over her rear so I don't look at it. And I'm like, what the heck? So the next time we come to a set of stairs the same way, this time I go first because I don't want to, have her think that I'm trying to stare at her rear the whole time. And I turn around to talk to her, and this time she holds the clipboard over her chest. And I'm like, are you for real? Lady, you're old enough to be my aunt. I really don't have any interest in you. I didn't say this to her, it's what I was thinking. But it's just, anyway, I know I'm going too far, but as you guys know, I've talked about it before. Growing up, I've always been one of those guys that have gotten no more than yes when it comes to the opposite sex. So I am gun shy now, so I apologize. Seems like more of a West Coast thing. Yeah. Pushing him off would have been hilarious. Yeah, just give him the cold shoulder. No, I'm not going to marry you. I don't know. I know. Anyway, so the other snake men, of course, all say, hey, yay, long live Lady Slither. Now we have our queen bee, because she's the only female in all the snake men. And it's funny is she uses snake men instead of snake people. So obviously she is the only snake woman left. Now, it makes you wonder, were there other snake women at one time? And we've seen one in the other comic. I don't think it's in this one, where it shows that other snake lady that created all the snake men, which I thought she was, but I guess she's not. So we do know there's other snake women, men equal people. Yeah, I know. But come on, we know where this is heading. We've seen it before with the mailman is now called something else now, at least here on the West Coast. Snake Tila, there we go. Yep, Lady Slither should take her out. She's competition. Anyway, I just thought it was kind of funny that King Hiss fought for the right to bring her over to try to marry her, and her first impulse was just to slice his head off. Probably upset that she wasn't successful. Kind of curious to see where the next comics go after this, if we're going to see King Hiss again or not. Anyway, leave your comments below. I want to see what you guys think for those that aren't watching this live with me right now. Let's see. Carlos says Master Far. I forgot about that scene. What is Master Far? I doubt King Hiss is dead. Zodak made King Hiss eat himself in 2000X, and he was planned to return. Yeah, that was pretty weird. He ate one of his heads with his 4 other heads that were his arms. Creepy. Now I could see if King Hiss was part starfish, for when to reheal his head, but I don't think snakes reheal whole entire limbs like that. I mean, of course, limbs. Snakes don't really have limbs. They're just a long, skinny body. But I mean, do they? I mean, I guess their tail would keep growing. I guess the tail could grow back. Let's say, hey, bro, here's a cool spider idea. Get a Halloween spider and put Panther saddle on it. That is a really cool idea. Is the goddess related to the Snake Man? That's a good question. According to the DC Comics, she was. So, yes, Zodak's brother got eaten. And I can't imagine how far King Hiss' mouth has to open to swallow a whole entire human being. And what would his body look like afterwards? He obviously couldn't stay in his human form at that point while he's digesting somebody. I mean, his armor and stuff wouldn't even fit. He'd have to go back to the snake form to hold a person. I just noticed the red snake there looks like a snake from Eternia playset. Yes, it does. I remember seeing that snake before. I forgot what they called him, but you can see his collar there has the chains just like the Eternia playset has. And you can see a lot of these are new Snake Men. In fact, all 3 of those guys lined up. Maybe even the 4th one in the back. I can't tell if it's be a Snake Man or not, but those are all new Snake Men that we have not really seen before yet. So, interesting. Interesting. Anyway, that's my story. Charles is going good. I just thought it was kind of funny. King Hiss being rejected by a pretty woman. King Hiss, I feel for you. I've been there many times. That's like, it's so funny. I remember when I saw my wife for the first time. I was knocked over. I could not believe it. I knew, because I've been rejected so many times in my life, that I had no chance with her whatsoever. Her sister roar skated up to me and she says, what do you see in my sister? Because I was pointing at her, my best friend, saying, hey, check that out. And I figured I had no chance. I'm a nerdy guy. So I just said, because I think she's gorgeous. And I guess that resonated with her. And it's funny, I even asked my wife, I said, what did you see in me? Here I was, this nerdy little skinny, scrawny guy. And she said, I saw potential in you, which is pretty cool for my wife to see that. Now, I didn't ask the follow-up question. I didn't ask her that I'd live up to that potential. But I had totally hit the jackpot. Is your head safe, Todd? Laughing out loud. Oh, new releases of figures was shown today. I saw something about that. I should have made a video on that instead. I should probably check out and see what they are. We still need a 2000X Zodak. Well, she wants to be number 1. But she didn't even know he was King Hiss yet. She didn't even know who he was. He was just the guy who summoned her as all she knew. Let's see what she says in the text. Let me back this up. I think she might have called him a king. So maybe she did know. Maybe she was watching him the whole time. Arise and receive your prize, King Hiss. So she does know who he is for some reason. So she must have some sort of interdimensional way to view from one place to another. But with all the multiverses, why would she watch this one? Unless this was a King Hiss on her planet. On her multiverse, or her whatever you want to call it. I think they should call it Quantum Verse personally, but whatever. Yeah, I really lucked out. Yep. That was sure good. Yep, she's still around. We've been together now for coming up on 37 years this year. 37. King Hiss was a simp. Yep. He was smitten by her beauty. Now, I kind of wish in one of these scenes they would show her with her snake tail. Because on the cover, they show her snake tail. And then all the scenes inside the comic, they show her with her green legs. So I kind of wish they would have shown some kind of transformation scene in the comic, but that's okay. Mike Fee, yes, you are a lucky man. Just like me, you are dating outside of your oh, what's the term I'm looking for? Not rank. There's another word for it. Outside your class, I guess. I suppose that's not a good word to use. Wow, thanks, Gnomsky. I've been with her 1 year longer than I've been alive. And that's just married. We actually dated for 1.5 years first. So, Gnomsky, you could have been my kid. My oldest boy just turned 36. So, anybody out there who's 36 or younger, I could be your dad. So, like, Hebrew for a dad. Anyway, out of your league. Thank you, Bert. You are the man. Yeah, Charles, it's hard, man. I would not want to be dating nowadays. Oh, man. I see the way that people are nowadays, and there is no possible way I would survive. Oh. Yeah, I told my wife, I said, if something ever happens, you'll be the last one. That's it. I don't even want to try to even. Oh, sorry. I don't mean to digress. But yes, I definitely lucked out. I don't even know how it happened. It must have been a Lord ordained. God was looking out for me. All right. Anyway, like, subscribe, tell your friends. And it looks like King Hiss's head was not chopped off. After all, I was wrong when I first saw it. Again, like I said, my eyesight's not as good as it used to be. But you can see there when I zoom way in, it is still connected. Yeah, Mike, dude, you got lucky, man. Tell Jamie how much you appreciate her, man. That is for sure. Oh, Charles, I'm sorry to hear that, man. This comic scene came with Lady Slither, so it is a brand new comic. I just think it's so funny, his head bopping off. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Especially his mouth being open and then closed. Actually, it's like his eyes are closed too. Yeah, I wonder if some kind of living mask that's part of his suit at the same time while he's wearing it. It's got to be. Because this is kind of morbid. When the head chops off, though, I believe it lasts for 10 or 15 seconds. I think some guy counted like 7 before he lost his consciousness. So, if it took his head 7 to 8 seconds to plop and roll, then yeah, his eyes and mouth could be closed. Because it'd probably be open. You know, I mean, you see people all the time in movies and they close somebody's eyes. Yeah. Maybe King Hiss is like that pirate clown from One Piece. Yes. I actually really enjoyed that. Man. And now I'm thinking about going back and watching the cartoon, and I had no desire to watch it in the past. And now, I guess the show did what it's supposed to do, because now, if people go back and watch the cartoon. Anyway. Thanks for watching, you guys. Stop trying to apply logic to magic. He blinked his eyes. Yes! Carlos, thank you. That was the story. Yep, his friend counted 7 blinks. Man, that is so gruesome. Oh. Alright. Good journey, you guys. It's time to Darth Vader it out.
If you found enjoyment, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Do it!